What if Deku was infinite in Overlord, part 3? As they start walking towards and into the mountains, a blizzard suddenly covers them as they're walking into, as everything is now covered with snow. It seems as we've entered the mountain's frost area, we're currently now trapped. As Infinite looks back, as Rhith and Vega look back, you're right. I can't even see any non-snowing areas past behind us. And we just entered into this area. This must be large-scale magic at most. Illusion magic, maybe? No, Rhith. This is not illusion magic. This is high-tier magic. High-tier magic? Maybe a relic? Could be an item. Can't be sure what's causing this storm. As the blizzard gets more, tougher. As the snow falls harder. Shall we keep moving, my lord? Yes. As Vega takes the lead, as she walks up in front. As Rhith and Infinite Deku are currently in the back following. Sir, if I may, how big is exactly the object we're looking for? I'm not exactly sure. You did mention to me you sense a large area of magic in this mountain. Yes, enormous, but I never went myself, as I've only observed the surrounding areas of the mountain. I see. Let's continue onward. We must find this object. I sense its great, powerful magic. And just by the surrounding, it has something to do with ice. It could be useful to power the Phantom Ruby. Of course, sir. I think I see something up ahead, Lord. What is it? Seems like a cave of some sort. Can't be sure, but that may be our entrance. Maybe the relic is in there? Possibly. As then, suddenly all three of their ears twerk up at the same time. You hear that? I hear it as well. We're not alone. As a huge monster-like golem would appear. An ice golem. No. It may look like one that's an ice yeti. And where there's one, there will be more. You go inside. Get the relic. I will deal with them. Don't fail. As Infinite and Vega would walk in. As Rhith is left out to deal with these ice yetis. Who's first? As the first one that's in view charges at Rhith, as he simply just backsteps before ties his back of his hair around the yeti's arm before pulling it, causing it to tumble over. As then he would cast a type of fireball spell into the yeti's face, burning it alive. One down. As then 3 more would approach. Y'all want some action? Very well. As he spreads his hands in front in like a cross formation, as he stretches out his fingers and claws, as at each tip of his claws forms a fireball. Let's see how you handle this, as he tosses his hands forward, and all the fireballs go at once towards the yetis, as the first one takes all of them, surprising Rhith. It jumped in front of all the blasts and took it head on. As the other yetis had taken some damage from the big explosion of all the fireballs hitting. Very well. I will take care of you all myself. As he then pulls his hand up, before like a huge dark blade would come out of his hand, piercing one of the yetis straight through. Die, you have no purpose in serving my master, the supreme being of the Phantom Ruby. As he swings his hand, as that same blade then just comes around, cutting off 2 more yetis' heads. as then he puts it in a stance, as the blade goes straight as it gets stuck in one of the Yeti's necks. Who's next? As several more Yetis appear out from the blizzard. It seems like they're not going to stop. Then I'm gonna need to do something else. As he touches one of his gloves before pressing something, as then Rhith grows up in size, as he's like about the size of the Yetis. It's been a while since I've been able to be granted in this form. Now, who wants some? As like 3 Yetis charge at him. As he just extends his hand, as his magic suddenly got a whole lot bigger, as a huge fireball suddenly gets sent out of his hand, not blowing up just the 3 Yetis, but blowing up everything in the surrounding area. It's good to be back in, I would say, my original form. Although, not quite the original. I'm still taller. But I've increased it to their height. Gives it more of a fair fight. As then suddenly his little ear charms start to glow. As suddenly, like, dark magic appears at the earlobes, sending and causing 2 Yetis to just turn completely black. As then they start fighting each other. I'm glad I had these items attached when I was still in the Tomb of Nazarig. As then Rhith deploys purple-like magic, which just covers the area, making a cage so they cannot enter the cave. Alright, Yetis. Shall we continue? As a Yeti tried to sneak Rhith, as he simply just swinged around and had his claw go straight through the Yeti's heart. As he pulls back, as his claw is stained with blood, as he just swings it, as it just goes over one of the Yetis that was approaching him in the face, causing him to go blind, as Rhith just simply casted a huge icicle spell, piercing the Yeti in the head. Alright, who wants to reveal and have me test out all of my magic? As several more Yetis are appearing. I wonder how many of you there are. At least you can entertain me while the boss is searching for that item. As we go to Vega and Infinite Deku in the cave. Do you think Rhith will be fine, my lord? As Deku is currently in front of Rhith, going through the cave. Yes, he'll be fine. Rhith is a spellcaster, and a very powerful spellcaster that could rival even a floor guardian. As Vega is taken back. Really? Yes. He comes from a very rare jackal race. As Vega stops. A rare jackal race? They were known as the Jackal Giants. They were huge jackals that mostly learned swordsmanship and magic. For giants, they were smart, advanced, and cunning. They were hunted to extinction. So with the engineering of my magic and the help of the Phantom Ruby, I revived one, and that being Rhith. He could probably take on the floor guardian of, maybe the 3rd floor. No, not Shaltir. Maybe Cocytus. With his magic, he could most likely beat Cocytus. I wasn't expecting that one of your jackals could possibly defeat a floor guardian. Don't count yourself out too. Your swordsmanship rivals even the skills of Cocytus. But with his magic items and abilities and skills, he might easily outmatch you. But your swordsmanship is far superior to Cocytus's. Thank you for the compliment, my lord. No compliment needed. Now, shall we deal with this thing in front of us? As a huge ice lizard just appears in front of Infinite Deku and Vega. I will handle this, my lord. As she runs straight towards the ice lizard, as it sends a breath wave of ice, as Vega just slashes her sword, which is an energy sword made by magic, as it cuts straight through the ice breath of this lizard, as then a psionic wave just cuts the lizard in half, as then a few more would enter. It seems that's not the last of them. As she swings her sword, rushing towards the lizards, as they release ice breath from 3 different directions. As she swings her long sword and just simply deflects all 3 ice breaths back at the lizards, causing their mouths to freeze, before she would reach into a pouch and grab something before throwing it up in the air. Oh, using an item like that. Interesting. As it happened to have been a small ball, as she then just tosses like a small toothpick at it. As it hits, as 3 daggers simultaneously pop out of the ball, as she grabs all 3, dropping her longsword and tossing them at the 3 lizards, hitting them all 3 in the head. As she grabs her longsword before she just throws it, taking out another ice lizard. As she goes and picks up the daggers and her sword. That should be all of them, my lord. Yes, very impressive. Your swordmanship skills and usefulness in items. Why didn't you use some of your actual skills? They were not needed. All I need is my pure skill and swordsmanship. Nothing more. You could have used any of your other skills, but kept to do it on your own. Were you trying to impress me? As nothing gets by you, Supreme Being. I figured as much. You did an excellent job. As Vague smiles. Now, we wait for the Alpha. As the Alpha Lizard just starts roaring and walks in. There you are. As Vega grabs her sword, as then Infinite Deku just puts his hand in front of her. No need. I'll take this from here. As you wish, my lord. As she backs behind Infinite. So how shall we do this? As he roars at Deku. I don't even need to take you seriously. I'll let one of my creations. As Infinite Deku would put his hand in the air before a giant-like illusion monster would appear behind him, which would basically swing down and immediately basically chop the head of the lizard off. But as the lizard's head dropped off, it started to grow 2 more. Oh, a hydra. An ice lizard hydra, very rare these days. Honestly, another species I didn't think that would be from Yggdrasil. Shall we take it alive? No. As he simply turns around, as the basically big shadow monster just formed under it before consuming the lizard whole. I'll cipher its essence later. Maybe it has some research quality and value I could use in the future. Now to find that relic. As they proceed to walk down the long corridor of ice in the cave, as then they would see like a little circle with a blue icicle sphere. What is this, my lord? It's a magic ice spear, but not like any other one I've encountered. What do you mean? It's completely changed the atmosphere of the surrounding area completely, letting these monsters thrive. As a huge explosion is heard as the cave starts to shake. I guess that's Rhith causing some chaos out. As we go to Rhith, who's cast most powerful fireball spells and several spells that have decimated the surrounding area. Oh, you're still not done. Maybe I should reveal even more magic. As Rhith has gotten a bit bigger, as he decides to summon 2 copies of himself before they all make like several daggers just appear, stabbing every yeti around them like a blade storm. As we go back to Deku and Vega. As Deku approaches the orb, now decipher its energy. As he would touch the orb, as he ciphers all of the energy into the Phantom Ruby. As he's standing in the middle of the room, as his eyes are closed, as he's ciphering it. As we go back to Rhith, who knows that there's no more of the ice yetis. Okay, that was a good warm-up. I got to use a lot of magic. Did I use a lot of skills? As he checks. No, I only used my double skill. As he looks at the two versions of himself he summoned. As we realize and we see that the two earrings that he has had disappeared. As they rejoin into Rhith, as they appear again. Ah, yes. Alright. I should find my lord, Infinite. I should report that the enemy has been extinguished. As he walks away smiling as burning piles of yeti corpses are lying about behind him. As the mountain has almost been leveled, by the way, with the type of magic he was using. He was using a variety of ice spells, fire spells, weapon spells. He was releasing a good portion of his arsenal, testing out on what magic can be used. So basically, Rhith is testing all sorts of magic that he thinks won't work in this world. So basically, testing the waters of magic for the Supreme Being Infinite to see what magic is capable in this world, as they're not in Yggdrasil anymore. As Rhith goes into the cave and eventually finds Vega and Infinite Deku. As he approaches, why is the Lord just standing there? The Supreme Being is currently, just absorbed the ice magic orb, and is currently just, I don't know, asleep maybe? I can't be 100% certain. No, he's not asleep. He's concentrating the magic energy into the Phantom Ruby. He may have absorbed the magic, but it's going to take time for it to process through the Phantom Ruby, as it has to go through his natural reserve magic and straight to the Phantom Ruby. You know way more magic than I do. You only know some of the basic spells. I'm not surprised. You think you're better than me just because you know a lot of magic? You have to realize, Vega, all of us are from a unique race of jackals. You probably know what race I am now. You're from the Giant Jackals. The Supreme Being informed me. Oh, he did. Well, I guess it's good to know that he did tell you what mine is. Although I'm curious on what race of jackal you came from. He doesn't really share what races we come from, other than that we're all jackals. Surprising that there were so many different races of jackals out there. Can you two stop complaining? As both of them look over at the Supreme Being Infinite. Sorry, my lord, I didn't mean to cause trouble. You two were just simply arguing. I've finished absorbing the magic. As the cave starts to melt, as apparently the cave was fully made of ice, as they see the surrounding area, you didn't leave anything alive, did you? As he basically leveled the mountain next to them and almost leveled this one. You used high-tier spells. What if any humans saw? I'm sorry, my lord, but I doubt they would have saw due to the magic field that was up. You're right, but the magic field's now down because I absorbed the magic source. Oh, you're right. I'll cast illusion magic No. What is done is done. If we cast illusion magic, it will only be a matter of time and a waste of MP. Regroup. Head back to our base. How is the search for the Tomb of Nazarig? I can get in touch with the other jackals and try to find out. Unfortunately, we still have not detected it or detected its magic signature. We're still looking, my lord. Very well. Let's go. It's time for the jackals to move on. We'll investigate some human settlements. Bring me some humans alive for observation and research. We need to know what magic they know. Yes, my lord. I'll get on it right away. No, Rhith. You used too much magic in this battle and you had a little bit of fun. Allow me, my lord, to hunt down these humans and bring them to you. No, neither of you will be on this assignment. As both of them are shocked, what? I've already given an assignment to one other person. He's currently doing the job as we speak. But sir, we can get it done more efficiently. Do not question my orders. I'm sorry, the Supreme Being. It's fine. Now let's get back to headquarters. As they would go back to, well, the hideout of the Jackals, Infinite's base. Hopefully y'all enjoyed part 3 of What If Deku Was Infinite in Overlord.